how do you how do you start counseling guys who had just the worst experience in the world to be reasonable?
So, and even put more of a spin on this for you as well.
Go for it.
So, as a paramedic, we used to get called to domestics. And whereas working in various cities, when you get called to a domestic, somebody's going to prison because they're not going to leave two people together. And you could see the physical injuries that may have occurred. And to your point right here with the emotional aspect, there's nothing that I'm going to do to fix someone's emotions. There's not. As a paramedic, in my head, I said this person needs social services, possibly maybe protective services, and they need counseling. That rolls right into where we're at today. And when you get some people, some guys specifically who are fumingly pissed off, they're ready to go down to the mat. It's my kid. It's my house. I'm taking her down. I say, go see a therapist, a counselor. And it's important because the emotions on this whole thing are so can be so volatile. And I'll admit, I sent a few texts when I was going through mine that were dumb, and I've said some things that were stupid, and it was my emotions getting so stressed out over stuff. You also need to consider the fact that mediation, while some guys are like absolutely not, you may have to go through mediation. There's even cases, and you've seen this before, the judge orders a couple to go to therapy together and says you will go to counseling. You don't have a choice. And so when I'm talking to the guys going through the divorce, I don't prescribe, I don't sit here and say, tell me your issues. I say to them, you need to go, whether it's online or in person, seek someone who will walk you through this. At a minimum, start talking to somebody who's objective and not in the middle of it. Because if you want a true, fresh perspective, talk to somebody who's Johnny or Jane in neutral and say, describe the situation, because anyone who's listening to someone who's going through the emotions of divorce is always going to be in his back of the head saying, there's always two sides of this equation. You're saying this, but what's the other half saying? Because there's stuff that she sees that you may not be describing to me that I need to hear about as well. So that what you ask is a super question. It's a totally loaded question. And I'm fortunate the guys that I've spoken to have said, cool, I respect that. I get it. And in my in one of the modules I have for one of the lessons, I say to guys, at least consider going once. I went at least twice to therapy. And I want to make sure that my head was okay, that my heart was okay, and my mindset was okay. And I'm admitting this here to you because it's uncharted territory for myself. I've only been married and divorced once. And I'm like, I got to get this right. I give myself a B or a C now, looking back at everything. But it's one of those things where I made it through, but I also talked to people as well. And I made sure that I was speaking to people who I trusted. And one thing you don't want to do is talk to someone who's going to turn around, lock and load, and unleash everything you just told that person to hurt.